In this video, we will be talking about how China is building the world's first space solar power plant, how much this project will be cost, when it will be completed, how much energy it will produce, and it will be produced the same energy as produced by fossil fuels. It will replace fossil fuels or not. And what about other energy projects of China? So keep watching to get benefits from this video. The idea behind this project is to harness the power of the sun's rays, which are free and abundant, to generate electricity on Earth. The solar panels will be able to capture energy from over 1,000 meters above sea level, which is ideal for generating more power than is needed during peak hours. This project has been met with a lot of skepticism by people who think it's too expensive, and there isn't enough surface area available for such an operation. However, these concerns have not been enough to deter China from its goal of becoming one of the top 3 countries in terms of renewable energy production by 2030. The biggest advantage for this project is that it will help China reduce its reliance on fossil fuels and reduce pollution levels by using renewable energy sources like wind and solar power instead. China is building the world's first space solar power plant, and they're doing it in record time. The plant will be able to generate enough power to supply 2 million homes with clean energy, which is a huge deal for China, which has been plagued by pollution from coal and other fossil fuels. The project was announced earlier this month, but it's not just any old solar panel array. It's going to be located in the Gobi Desert, which means that it will be able to harness the sun's energy even though it's located in a place where there isn't much of it. The cost of building this system is estimated at $2 billion, but once it's up and running, it should be able to provide electricity without any emissions or waste products released into the atmosphere. If you've ever wondered what kind of technology could help us solve our biggest problems, like climate change or pollution, you might have thought about space-based solar panels like these ones. They're still pretty far off in terms of feasibility right now, but if we can figure out how to make them work on Earth instead of in space, that would be huge. What is the fruition of this project till now? It's a project that has been in the works for years, and it's finally coming to fruition. The space solar power plant is going to be huge. It will be able to generate enough energy to power over 30 million homes, and it'll be able to do so without any harmful emissions or carbon footprint. So what does this mean? Well, China isn't just trying to produce clean energy, they're also trying to prove that they can build an entire facility from scratch using only solar panels, wind turbines, and space technology. That's a pretty big statement. China aims to construct first space solar power station in 2028. China is getting closer to building a solar power station in space and could be the first country to do so. The space solar power station is a hotspot technology that collects solar energy before converting it into electricity. The sun is brighter outside the atmosphere, which shines most of the day. Next, the energy in microwaves is transmitted and harvested by receiving antennas either on the Earth's surface or in space. This converts microwaves back into electricity. A research team from Zhejiang University has wrapped up the world's first full-chain system-wide ground verification for space solar power station this month with its self-developed Omega SSPS ground test verification system, displaying multiple key know-hows for the futuristic project known as Jury, or Chasing the Sun in English. The key technologies verified include high-efficiency light concentrating and photoelectric conversion, microwave conversion, 55-meter microwave emission and waveform optimization, microwave beam pointing measurement and control, microwave reception and rectification, and smart mechanical structure design. In 2028, Chinese scientists will launch a solar power station named Jury that will convert sunlight in outer space into electrical supply to drive satellites and transmit power back to Earth. The space solar power station is a hotspot technology used to collect solar energy before converting it into electricity and then into microwaves. The sunlight is brighter outside the atmosphere and shines almost all day. Next, the energy in microwaves is transmitted and harvested by receiving antennas either in space or on the Earth's surface, which converts microwaves back into electricity. Zhejiang University has wrapped up the world's first full-chain system-wide ground verification for space solar power station this month with its self-developed Omega SSPS ground test verification system, displaying multiple key know-hows for the futuristic project known as Jury, or Chasing the Sun in English. China's Jury project, on the south grounds of the Xi'an-based college, stands a 75-meter high steel structure. It is Jury's ground check office. The group drove by Duan Beiyan. The 67-year-old radio wire master with Zhejiang College is entrusted with mimicking the power age and transmission on the ground. The essential specialized challenge is to limit energy misfortune during changes in different energy structures. The scientists, right off the bat, attempted to change the points of the gigantic light-gathering focal point of the sunlight-based elevation. At the focal point of the focal point are sun-oriented cell exhibits connected to sending-receiving wires. They tried the receiving wires that convey microwaves from a distance to the getting ones. The tests were both analytical and involved weighty work. To convey a 200-kilogram receiving wire, Duan needed to enlist understudies as impermanent watchmen. "You need to attempt over and over on the scene," said Duan. "Virtual experience doesn't work." In excess of 100 analysts and understudies partook in the task. On account of their persistent effort, the confirmation effectively passed assessments on June 5th, around 3 years sooner than anticipated. Global techs chasing the sun. American researcher and aeronautics designer Peter Edward Glaser considered utilizing satellites to radiate sun-oriented energy from space down to the Earth in 1968. John C. Menkins, a previous NASA physicist, set forward in 2012 a methodology called sun-based power satellite through randomly huge staged exhibit. In 2015, Northrop Grumman Partnership in the U.S. supported a $17.5 million examination more than 3 years for the improvement of the space sunlight-based power drive. Duan proposed in late 2013 to start off China's own drive, and afterward his group set forward China's tech approach of SSPS called Omega. Contrasted in alpha, Omega's power creating proficiency expanded by around 24%, and it is effortlessly controlled and has a superior intensity scattering, said Duan. Japan has incorporated the space sun-based power tech into its public space improvement plan. Its researchers tried 55-meter remote microwave transmission in 2015, showing its specialized benefit in remote energy transmission. Be that as it may, Japan's analysis isn't full chain since it comes up short on trial of light to power change, said Duan. China's roadmap. Engineers from the CAST uncovered an outline to advance this way-breaking innovation recently in a review distributed in the diary China Space Science and Innovation. The Space High Voltage Move and Remote Power Transmission Try is projected to be finished in low Earth circle in 2028, as per its arrangements. The satellite will be fit for creating 10 kilowatts and convey a fourth of a sunlight-based cell cluster, a microwave sending radio wire, a low-power laser transmission payload, and a communicating exhibit of a couple of meters to test power transmission across distances of 400 kilometers from circle. By 2030, they intend to extend the sun-oriented exhibit to create north of 100 kilowatts and test medium power laser transmission across distances of 36,000 kilometers. By 2035, the microwave communicating receiving wire is supposed to be developed to around 100 meters in addition to drive age of 10 megawatts. The objective in 2050 is to fabricate a financially worked sun-oriented plant that produces power of 2 gigawatts with a receiving wire that would associate with 1 kilometer and a complex sun-based cell cluster to be collected in space. Space-to-Earth transmission is our last objective and it requests work of several years, said Duan. Yet, we can meet some close-term targets. Duan said the sunlight-based energy in space can initially be utilized to charge medium to little satellites. Presently, they must be sent off with enormous payloads of sunlight-based chargers, and the boards can't reap power in shadowed areas when circling behind the Earth. Soon, those satellites are supposed to be furnished with foldable getting radio wires, while pushing off those sunlight-powered chargers, as per Duan. In conclusion, China building the world's first space solar power plant is a very important project. It will help to develop the solar energy industry in China, which is one of the fastest growing industries in the world. It will also help to reduce pollution and climate change by using solar power instead of fossil